All right, let's talk about a huge problem in the world of AI. It's a problem that's costing companies billions of dollars. But more importantly, we're going to lay out a powerful way to fix it, a framework that can actually turn these failing projects into real compounding ROI. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so what's the number? It's this, 70%. That's how many enterprise AI projects are failing to deliver the value they promised. Think about that. 7 out of 10 of these massive, expensive, high-stakes initiatives just don't work out. It's a staggering failure rate.
So you gotta ask, right? With all this hype, all this money being poured in, and some of the most brilliant technology on the planet, why is the success rate so incredibly low? What are we all getting so fundamentally wrong?
Well, here's the surprising part. The problem isn't really the AI itself. The technology is amazing. The models are powerful. The real issue is something much, much closer to home. It's a business process problem. We're essentially trying to build a spaceship on a foundation of quicksand.
And when we dig into why this happens, it really comes down to a few core issues. First, you've got what's called the prediction problem. That's where AI is built on these perfect, idealized ideas of how work should get done, not how it actually gets done in the real world. Then there's the technical translation gap. You know, all that crucial knowledge that lives inside your employees' heads but is never written down. It makes it totally impossible to automate properly. The result is always the same. You get an AI that just doesn't fit reality.
So, along comes what looks like the perfect hero for this story, a new type of AI called behavioral AI. Or, as the source material calls it, a behavioral agent automation platform. We'll just call it BAAP. And on paper, it seems like the exact right answer to all these problems.
The idea behind BAAP is honestly revolutionary. Instead of having some manager try to map out a workflow, the BAAP system just watches. It literally observes what people are actually doing all day, the clicks, the documents they open, the systems they use, and it learns the real process directly from their behavior. It's a bottom-up approach.
So here's how it actually works, step by step. First, it just observes, connecting to your systems to see every single interaction. Then, from all that data, it starts to recognize patterns. It might see that an employee always checks the same 3 spreadsheets before approving a certain type of invoice. Once a pattern like that is solid, boom, it can automatically deploy a software agent to do that task. And the best part? It's always learning, always trying to improve.
I mean, that sounds like the silver bullet, doesn't it? An AI that watches what you do, learns from it, and then automates it all on its own. It feels like it solves everything we just talked about. But there's a huge, critical flaw hiding in plain sight.
And here it is. This is the fatal flaw. BAAP is a brilliant observer, but it has zero judgment. It can watch you perform a 5-step process 1,000 times, but has no way of knowing if those 5 steps are any good. Are they efficient? Are they even correct? It only knows what is, not what should be.
So here's the bottom line, and it is so important. If your current way of doing things is a messy, inefficient patchwork of workarounds and shortcuts, well, BAAP is going to diligently learn every single one of those bad habits. And then it's going to build little robot agents that execute those bad habits perfectly at lightning speed. You don't get optimization, you just automate chaos.
Okay, so this is where our second character comes onto the scene. If BAP is our powerful but reckless hero, it desperately needs a wise mentor. It needs a guide to provide structure and discipline. And that guide is called Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE. Think of IP as the solid bedrock foundation. It's a framework that takes the kind of hardcore discipline you see in high-end manufacturing, where every single step is defined, measured, and controlled. And it applies that same rigor to all your business processes, whether it's in finance, HR, or wherever. It's designed to create order out of that chaos we were just talking about. So what does that actually look like? Well, IPE comes in and provides a documented, standardized workflow that gives BAAP something clean and consistent to observe in the first place. It also establishes clear ways to measure performance, so when a BAAP agent gets deployed, you can actually measure its ROI against a solid baseline. In short, IPE cleans house before you let the AI loose. You see where this is going, right? Neither one is the whole answer by itself. BAAP is brilliant but blind. IPE is disciplined but doesn't have the automation power. The real magic, the real solution, happens when you put them together. You pair the observational power of BAAP with the structural discipline of IPE.
And there's actually a clear roadmap for doing this right. It's a 5-phase model that builds the system the smart way.
You start with the foundation, the IP work, defining and mapping your core processes. Then you measure your baseline and let BAAP observe this new, orderly environment. It's only after that, in phases 3 and 4, that you start discovering real opportunities and deploying automation agents that you know are based on good, clean work.
When you put it side by side, the difference is just night and day. Without IPE, BAAP is basically a coin toss. It's just going to automate your existing bad habits. But with IPE as the foundation, you get a system that identifies and automates validated high-value work. You're not guessing anymore. You're engineering success.
Okay, so let's talk about the payoff. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? What does all this foundational work actually get you in terms of business results? It's about finally getting a real, measurable return on that massive AI investment. And this chart shows you the journey. Yeah, those first 6 months are an investment. You're building that IPE foundation. Then, as you start to deploy your first agents, you see that initial ROI kick in. But the real power, the game changer, is that third bar, the compounding ROI, where your portfolio of automated agents just keeps growing and improving, driving more and more value across the whole company.
And the results you get, they're not just vague promises about efficiency. We're talking about quantifiable ROI that you can take to the bank. You're reducing your operational risk because your processes are finally under control. The automation you build is sustainable, and this is huge, it's auditable, and you've created a genuine, continuous improvement engine for the entire organization.
So we end up right back where we started, but now we have a clear path forward. The choice is really stark. The source material puts it bluntly, and it's the single most important thing to take away from all this. Enterprises that try to deploy this powerful AI without first getting their house in order will simply automate chaos. The only question is, which path are you going to choose?